All right. Welcome back to the Different Spectrums podcast. If you have listened to our show before, we have conversations around mental health and dabble in humor. We also try to help people understand, identify, and normalize their emotions from movies and shows, specifically certain scenes. You've probably already watched these movies and shows, but we're going to use a different perspective, and one could say a different spectrum. And with that, I am your co-host for the show, Spencer. We are joined today with our lovely guest co-host, all of the above. He's going to become a dad here soon, which is, yeah. Daddy Colin.
Big Papa Colin. Big Daddy Colin.
Lots of applause for Daddy Colin on the show.
Woo!
Yay.
I'll be MIA for a few months.
You were going to do that even if you weren't having a baby. You're like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And of course, we have our licensed clinical therapist, our co-host, our lover of all things toys. And if he sees one in a store, he's probably going to buy it. It's Nazir.
Let's be real. When you seen this in the store with me the other day, you were like, that's cute.
It was cute. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying you go to toy aisles more than most men your age.
Well, hold up now. It's true.
Yes, exactly. You're like, does it have a toy aisle? Then we're going.
Yeah, they got toys.
There you go. All right. So today we're taking a look at the episode 10 from Andor, the new show on DisneyPlus.
Not the old Andor, the new Andor.
Oh my God. Jesus. All right. So for this scene, Luthen, who is kind of like a rebel spy, is talking with another, like one of the guys he recruited who works for the Empire. We're taking a look at that scene. It's pretty intense, pretty cool scene though. As soon as I saw it, I was like, we have to do this. But yeah, before we get into it, Nazir, anything?
As always, folks, much appreciated. The likes, the follows. Since Instagram has fixed its algorithm, it has skyrocketed. And so we went from 5,000 now almost to 7,000 in a blink of an eye. So we appreciate all the likes, mostly the shares. Appreciate a lot of shares. I know the Darth Maul thing I shared the other day was kind of funny, and a lot of people shared that. Shout out to this dude that does a crap ton of cosplay that dressed up as Darth Maul, and he shared it, and then a bunch of people shared it because he shared it that follow him. So don't know your name, brother. I'm going to end up tagging you in this because I just appreciate the love. I can't remember all the tags, man. I just remember stuff.
Why don't you write it down? You don't have to remember anything.
Jimmy J? I don't know. That's a sandwich
Jimmy
shop.
J. Jimmy John's. Shout out. Sponsor. Jimmy J.
Yep. Yeah, so much love. Again, keep subscribing to the YouTube. I know it's hard for a lot of folks to listen to the pod. Some great stuff on there, some funny stuff. If you like any of the clips that we make, you're going to love the pod. All right, that's it for my bit. Let's get into the scene. Let's check it out. I have not seen this scene yet, so I'm just going to kind of be vibing, see how it goes.
Whoop, whoop.
Per good things. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop.
Cut the video. Cut it.
The video.
See.
Tell me why we're really here today, Lonnie.
I can't do this anymore. I'm a father now. I had no idea how it would feel.
We took a vow.
I'm giving you Dej Ramiro. I'm giving you Spellhouse. I'm warning you about Ferrix. I'm honoring my vow. I've been working my way through there for 6 years. Working my way up. Alone.
So what was your plan? Gather a big basket of goodies for me as a farewell gift? What were you planning to tell the ISP?
My health. My wife's family has an import business.
Even as you say the words, you know it's impossible. We can't let you go, Lonnie. We can't spare you. We've been grooming you for too long, and yes, you've been alone. Your career has profited greatly from information that we've provided. Information that cost me dearly. You love your daughter. Krieger's men will be dying to make sure she has a father. You're trapped, Lonnie. There's no pleasure in saying it, but you're going nowhere.
My sacrifice means nothing to you, does it?
I said I think of you constantly, and I do. Your investment in the rebellion is epic. The double life, everyday performance, the stress of that. We need heroes, Lonnie, and here you are.
And what do you sacrifice?
Calm. Kindness, kinship. Love. I've given up all chance at inner peace. I made my mind a sunless space. I share my dreams with ghosts. I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do. My anger, my ego, my unwillingness to yield, my eagerness to fight, they set me on a path from which there's no escape. I yearn to be a savior against injustice without contemplating the cost, and by the time I look down, there's no longer any ground beneath my feet. What is my sacrifice? I'm condemned to use the tools of my enemy to defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see. Now, the ego that started this fight will never have a mirror or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything! Just stay with me, Lonnie. I need all the heroes I can get.
All right. And we're back. So, after watching that clip, I just want to go into a little bit of a backstory of why I chose the clip, and then also like just some characters and what's going on in there. So, the reason why I chose this clip was because I love that scene of what he's explaining what he has to sacrifice in order to make sure that the rebellion keeps on going. And I think we can kind of compare that to our lives in the way of like, what do we give up on a daily basis to get to our end goal of what we want to do or what we want to be and things like that. Yeah, that's mainly why I chose the scene, and it's just such a great scene. Honestly, it's very well acted. Love it. But so a little bit of backstory. So the main guy who was talking, which is Luthen, he owns this antique shop, and through there he orchestrates like the rebellion and things like that. So he's like one of the main people who's like kind of coordinating what the rebellion is and like what certain things are going on.
That's why I don't trust antique shops.
They're always a front for something.
It's a front. I don't trust them.
I don't like how antique shops always be something else.
Let me tell you about antique shops. Okay.
All right. Land of play. All right. So this is actually a prequel to the movie Rogue One, which was all about like getting the Death Star plans essentially. and pretty much those characters, most of them are in it. Andor, he's like the main character, but Luthen's also a big part of this, obviously, because of what I just mentioned before. And then the guy he was talking to in the elevator works for the Empire, or the ISB, and which is just a section of the Empire, and he's been undercover for, like he said, 6 years or whatever, just moving up in there and being by himself, and now he finally wants to get out because he has a baby on the way, and wants to just have a settled life instead of just playing this role that he has to play all the time.
It sounds familiar. Yeah. Colin?
I just want to get out of this podcast, but we need you.
How dare you show this, Spencer? You're giving him ideas.
We need heroes. Hey, he stays in the end, so.
Oh, see? He probably dies. Just to let you know, Colin, he probably dies.
Hasn't happened yet, but probably.
On air here?
What'd you say?
You're saying I'm going to die on air here?
I don't know about on air. You might crap your pants, but I don't know about dying.
But yeah, so a little bit of backstory, and once again, the show is pretty great. It's Star Wars to the T. Doesn't need, like, Jedi or anything like that, but it has a lot of great just stories, and very dramatic, which is awesome. Very very mature kind of themes going on in the show too, which is pretty cool. So yes, with that, Colin, what are your reactions to the scene? Or at least, like, what kind of, like, poked out of your mind?
Yeah, what stuck out to you?
Yeah.
I would obviously say the whole father part, him becoming a father, about to be a father, and then him realizing, what he's doing now, isn't worth it with the child on the way. I can definitely relate in a sense to before we found out she was pregnant. I was dead set on getting out of the military.
Oh, yeah.
And doing something else, because I didn't necessarily like my job. But after we found out she was pregnant, it was kind of hard to walk away, from the free healthcare and
stable
all the
pay benefits.
Money. Yeah. It's something I had to, I guess you could say, sacrifice in a sense. But it was something worth, sacrificing. And it allowed Heather, my wife, to, take a year off to stay home with the baby when she's born.
Makes sense.
Yeah, completely.
So what I hear is the baby, when Charlie watches this show, they should know that you ruined your father's life.
Can't buy cards anymore.
He's gonna look at those lots and be like, I wanted that.
Yep. The name is Everly, but they go by Charlie in the Pod. I'm just gonna keep making sure we know.
Every time.
All right, that makes sense. I thought Colin was going to say it was a sign that he needs to quit the pod because, it's jeopardizing his life and stuff.
Swear to God, I thought he was going to say that.
So did I.
This podcast is too dangerous for me. I can't do it.
He's like, I almost got canceled at work.
Right.
I'm not going to lie, because we really don't say anything that's like bad on here, and it's all like awesome educational stuff and like just great fun. I'm not going to lie, though. Every time I'm at work, and they'd be like, we need to talk. The boss, I'm like, oh, damn. I start deleting all the files on my computer.
Not even the podcast files. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. I'd be deleting from the work computer. Anyways. Oh, yeah. I just go on a deep Hillary Clinton bleaching.
All right. Back on topic. Jesus. Naz, let me get your thoughts on the scene before we get into mine.
Well, let me finish about how we bleached the emails.
My God. Just Jesus Christ.
Spencer's like, no. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Oh, so I had no, like I said, I haven't seen the episode yet, or the season yet. Been super busy, so I'm just now catching up with things. I'm barely keeping up with the sitcoms that I watch for fun on the weekends. Finished up the Jedi Tales last night, like 1 a.m. That was fantabulastic. So the goal is to get to this weekend. I heard good things about this scene because I've seen it like on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. Didn't know what to expect, and then you watch it and you're like, okay, I'm vibing. Sacrifice. And like the one dude's trying to get out, so it gave me Godfather vibes. You know, I'm trying to get clean, and they pull me back in.
God, you picked the worst Godfather to choose from.
True.
The worst one.
Yeah, it was one of them. So it gave me those vibes where, you know, you're trying to finally do right, clean yourself up, because you know you got stuff on the line now. Like you got a family to take care of, you got people to look out for, you got bills to pay. Right, you got this other life and a life that you want to live to see them grow. And so you're like, hey, no. And dude's like, hey, man, you signed up for this now. I think his sacrifice thing is, I don't know if Homeboy knew that he was going to have to be a martyr. I don't know if he fully signed up for that because he hinted to it. By the time I looked down, I didn't see nothing. You know, it was already too late. And so now I'm just chasing ghosts. It was a lot of good verbiage about someone that didn't know it was going to be like this and that they were going to lose people. It almost gave you like Spider-Man vibes too. Like, you know, can't get too close to people. Other superheroes can't get too close to people because now you jeopardize their life and stuff like that. It was sad. Also made me think about counselors, therapists. There's a lot that you sacrifice because you take on all the trauma and damage that other people bring to your office. It takes a lot out of you. Some may not like that. I call it martyrdom, but there's a part of it that is martyrdom. You know, humans aren't meant to take on that much trauma in a day. So it made me think of that. It made me think of the scene on how we give up things every day, Spence, like you said, and Colin. You know, what do you give up to get to where you want to be? We've talked about it on the podcast before, but more like sacrificing for others. When we talked about the scene from Rebels that we did and a few other scenes, it made me think about my clients that I might have talked to in the last few days. You know, they're not doing well in school. Is you drinking? Is you partying? Are you studying right? Are you eating right? Are you getting into any exercises? Are you taking the medication? Are you doing all the things that you should be doing and that you need to be doing to get you to where you need to be? Well, you don't understand. I got this, and this going on. I say everyone's got this, and this going on. But we're not trying to go back to that. So what are you willing to sacrifice that way you don't go back to that? And I've got a lot of empathy, homies. But sometimes when people are getting in their own way of their academic success or just the success in general, I'm like, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, I can't fix you into being motivated to doing this stuff. You have to do that on your own. You have to figure out why you're here, and I can't just wave a wand and then you're not depressed about the situation and the life circumstances. I can't fix that. I can screw your head on right to where you don't treat yourself like shit, and then you go towards the goal. But sometimes it get hard when they keep telling you the same thing over and over, but yet you're not doing anything to progress and to sacrifice other than talking to me once a week. It's not enough. I'm not a magician. I can't fix all that stuff. Right. What are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to give up some of this free time? Well, I want to have the college experience. Now, while you all clowning around, there's 10, 20, 100 kids grinding in a room right now. I don't know. Maybe they're idiots. Maybe they'll die soon. Maybe they won't get the jobs that they want. It depends. Who's to say which person's thing is wrong? And I chose to study and to grind and to not go to a bunch of things and to put off. I deferred my happiness until I got my degrees.
Yeah, I was the complete opposite. That's why I'm still 12 years working on a associate's degree.
But who is to say that your choice was wrong and my choice was right?
Right.
It's true. It's all about your perspective.
Economically, you're stable. You got a wife, 2 dogs, a kid on the way. Like, technically, you have what you would call the American dream. You may not love your job. Welcome to fucking reality.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. If everyone got to work a job that they like, no one would be doing nothing.
Yeah.
So my thing is, you didn't do the 9 years, because I'm an idiot, 9 years, plus the 2, what's that? 11 years of school. But, you know, who's to say?
Technically, I did, but
Oh, here we go.
They just didn't count.
I will
technically.
literally stab you in the heart.
I did my one online class.
Oh, yeah, I know. I told him that I would sit on Zoom with him while he does the posts, and he just couldn't do it. And then Heather would just come in there and knock it out.
Yeah, she probably did 50% of my work.
Jesus Christ.
Spence, you thought you hated school.
That's a whole other level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is his ACT was like really high, where mine was like, did you sit down and take it?
Did you spell your name wrong? How did you do that?
I've done it. I told a student many times to spell my name wrong. It's bad.
That's why, let's be honest though, that was probably one of the most nerve-wracking things, off topic, but one of the most nerve-wracking things was like, all right, I have to make sure I spell my name correctly. Because if you do, you just look like such an ass, and you're like, fuck everything.
And you got to bubble it all in real carefully. And people with dyslexia are circling the wrong shit. And then you got people like Colin that just shows up, leaves, gets like a 30, walks out.
Yeah, that's probably why I scored good, because I didn't overthink or go back and rethink questions.
I definitely overthought everything. I was like, wait a minute, that one could be correct too.
Yeah.
I could do that.
I've overthought every single thing I've said since we started the pod today.
Why did I say that?
Why has God forsaken me? Yeah, so Colin, like you said, it depends on what you sacrifice. For you, I don't know. Who knows what you might have sacrificed some different stuff. You're sacrificing stuff now. Yes and no, because I feel like you still manipulate your wife into getting the stuff that you want. So I don't really know if I think you defer things for a couple months. But I don't know if you sacrifice them.
I mean, I guess we'll see, but
We'll see.
I think for the most part, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but we'll see what happens. The sacrifices when you're. Well, I remember when we first found out she was pregnant, and we started to estimate how many diapers it was a day. We both said like 3, 4. It's like on average like 8 to 10.
Yeah, if not more, for a newborn. Yeah.
So there's some sacrifices that are going to be made.
She already said I'm gonna be the one changing most of the diapers.
We'll see. All you got to do is end up
Smell.
smudging crap all over her head, the baby's head, and Heather will never let you do it again.
Right.
I don't know how to do it. Oops.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I guess if you're not going to be a dad, you wouldn't really think about it, but a specific way to wipe girls, you know?
Oh, yeah. It's true. It's true. Very different than.
Yeah.
Is if personally, I think you just go Karate Kid on it. Wax on, wax off.
What? I knew you were going to say that.
Smear it up.
And I know that. Ugh, God.
Okay. Therapizing. I think when we're all talking to our friends, loved ones, when we start talking to like younger folks, Collins, Spence, you'll talk about, you know, what do you want to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up to get to what you want? You know, that's one of Muhammad Ali's things said, I hate working out. But if you want to be the greatest, you want to be the champ of the world, there's some shit that you're going to have to do. But I hated every minute of them workouts. I think there's a way and a fine balance for folks listening to sacrifice some things, but also get some of your happiness and joy. Because too much sacrifice is just pure misery and isolation or whatever it is. And then, right, and being too loose with things. There needs to be somewhat of a fine line in an acceptance that you will be giving up some things, sacrificing some things. There needs to be the acceptance of that misery, which most humans can only put up with for a little bit of time. We sacrificed going on our massive road trip this summer because I had class and I was like literally freaking out because these papers were massive and there's 3 classes within 8 weeks. Sacrifice. Delayed gratification that I can get through this next year, hoping that I don't have a stroke. And that we make it to the summertime, right? It's all about making it to the summertime.
Right.
So everyone has to make sacrifices. The question is, what are you willing to give up, and how long are you willing to give it up? How do you accept that? How do you internalize that, right? How do you seek supports, guidance? That's what I was thinking of. Lastly, Homeboy's emotions when he was like, you know what I sacrificed? And it echoes in the chamber. Yeah. That was good cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They do a fantastic job in this show. Everything all around.
That was good. That was hella dramatic, kind of like Dominique.
Can't even talk. He's gonna talk shit about when she's not even here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you know, Dom. You dramatic as hell.
She is. She is. But you know what? So lovable.
Oh, 100%.
Lovable.
Before I forget, Dom might have been the cutest thing I've ever seen. Dom is so cool, man. She's wonderful, man. She is. She's precious.
She is.
Yep.
She's my precious.
Oh, 100%. We'll talk. Well, I'll make some jokes about that in the next pod, Spence and Colin.
No. Great. Can't wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything to add? Yeah, to add to therapize or anything like that?
Yeah, I just think that, just giving up things in order to maybe not even see, like he said, he was like, I'm doing this for a sunrise that I might not even see.
Good point.
You know, it's even though you may not get to see everything that you wanted to of what you're working on, at least you put in the effort that no one else was, right? Like, and that's the big thing. Like, the big thing about this is, like, it's the Empire, this evil conglomerate thing that's just over everything, right? And they're trying to break free from that. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Empire!
My God. Jesus. Yeah. Like, it's something that without people that want to actually beat or work towards or sacrificing their lives for something, you wouldn't be able to see anything else from that. Like, you wouldn't be able to see somebody beating the Empire. You wouldn't be able to see, like, Luke Skywalker or Han Solo or all these guys, all these heroes, you know, beat them. And that's why I like this show. It's because they show the people that really put the groundwork in for everything else. And you never got to see that before, besides Rogue One, right? Like, you always got to see only Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, all that. And now you finally get to see the people that built towards beating the Empire and actually, you know, going toward their goal and actually doing it.
So
that's what I love about
I was thinking you could relate that nowadays to all the people that laid the groundwork for social justice, right? So all the black and brown folks that died, all the queer folks that have died for rights, all the disabled people. For those of us that are neurodivergent, to the passing of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and then the Autism Act that passed in 2019, and then how it was reaffirmed and refunded in 2019 to provide research, resources, money. These are things that wouldn't happen unless people legitimately would have died for their causes. So, right, we're living on the backs of them. I'm living on the backs of my parents. This reminds us of the pod that we did about our ancestors and that prayer. And everyone right in the tribe was like touching her as they prayed in gratitude. I mean, you could say the same thing for the Empire. And is we stand on the necks and the backs of like so many before us.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be to live back in some of those times. I don't want to imagine. As I tell some students, like, shit, not too long ago, I wouldn't be your counselor. Right? They wouldn't allow me into school like 50 years ago. Yeah. So made me think of that, what you just said, is to sunrise you'll never see. I feel like Colin might be working towards things to make sure that his daughter has things that he never have. And there's a chance that you might not see it. You know, knock on wood, but I mean, all of us here could pass before she turns 15, 12, whatever, 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was one thing that I could really relate to this in the sacrifice part was, you know, being able to give her things that, not that I necessarily went without as a kid. I think I always had everything I needed. But we definitely grew up pretty poor. There's a lot of things that I wanted that I necessarily could never get. Mm-hmm. And being able to be in a position to hopefully, you know, give my daughter, you know, whatever.
Provide.
Yeah, whatever she wants or needs.
Mm-hmm.
And sacrifice, you know, some things that I may want. In the past few years, you know,
yep,
I was probably pretty selfish and get things for just me. But
yeah, in the last few years, and we'll see how things move forward. We'll see how you grow as a man, then also making sure that you don't work or you get too lost in your hyper focuses and not pay attention to your kid. Because they're going to need attention.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly.
But, allegedly. Kyle's like, man, you good in the corner.
Don't worry about it. You'll figure it out.
I'm on my cell phone.
Yeah.
Had the dogs help you, that damn it.
They just take her in as one of their own.
Yeah. It's a whole the Jungle Book type of vibe that goes on over there.
She just starts speaking dog. Just like, what? The child speaking dog now?
Yeah.
Just roaming the neighborhood.
Jesus Christ.
Think it is. Your child's gonna get just shitting on your neighbor's lawn.
That's what I was gonna say. They're just shitting on people's lawn, just covering it up. Jesus Christ. Well, she's gonna watch this in 20 years and be like, why?
You thought I was an animal.
Yeah. CPS, episode 200. Yeah, you're right. Sacrifice. It's a thing that we all have to do. Something that I know very all too well. There's the thing that we all go to. It's a great scene to bring home the burden of that person that has to deal with the sacrifice and just praying that it brings some type of joy or peace to someone. Yeah, I actually think you see nothing but sacrifice in these superhero movies or these type of movies like this. Shows for dystopian type of things. Yeah. Here's something here. I'll end with this. There was a funny meme where it was making fun of She-Hulk, and it said like, "The Avengers are for narcissists," and then the picture was like of Iron Man and Scarlett Johansson's character. Like, yeah, they only like killed themselves to, you know, help the world. So,
thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Colin, this is where you hold the sign, LOL. Oof.
Yeah, oof on that one. Please make sure to like, subscribe,
share. He said comment, but he said it when I said share.
Yeah.
He also said when he was hitting his mic, it's just like count.
I was getting ready to turn it off. Just leave for the night.
Got like 5 other things to do.
Yeah, I know. We got like 5 episodes of Star Wars to do.
Jesus.
This is the most Star Wars he's ever going to see is this next like 2 hours.
Yep.
Great.
It's going to be a blast.
So you going to do it? Okay, people. We're getting out of here.